Okay, so I'm so glad you guys made it to our Monday night call. I was saying just a second ago, I didn't know if we were going to have it. My husband's had weird stomach stuff, and I think it's his appendix, but he won't go to the doctor. So we'll see how this night goes for us. Yes, but I had somebody ready to fill my shoes, so thankfully I have an awesome team. But guys, we're going to jump right in. This beautiful woman right here, Miss Sapphire Audrey Parker, I met her in Vegas last year because we were both doing a photo shoot. And girl, you came in and you just had that smile on your face and you're just like chit-chatting with everybody and just making everybody feel comfortable. And I don't know, you've just been on my mind since then. And so I'm so glad that you said that you were willing to do this for us. But if you could just share your story, just kind of your journey with Plexus and how you got started and, you know, your journey to being a Sapphire, because that's incredible. And then maybe your top business tips, and we would really appreciate it.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for inviting me to participate in the fun. We had the best time at convention, and we got our hair and makeup done together, and that was so much fun. And didn't you go Emerald right after that, like maybe a month or so, right?
Yeah, right after.
So that was really fun to watch that whole experience and cheer Kendall on. But thank you, Kendall, for allowing me to participate in your call tonight. So I'm going to just jump into my story first. About 15 years ago, I found myself suddenly divorced and trying to meet my financial responsibilities on a single income. I had too much months left at the end of my paycheck, and to replace a tire on my car would send me into financial DEFCON 5. And so I was really struggling. It was tight. And also during that time, I was diagnosed with severe clinical, we'll say the blues, okay, just to keep it compliant. But anyway, my doctor at the time told me that I would have to take medication the rest of my life, that this wasn't something temporary or that was going to go away. And so I was really overwhelmed at that point in my life with my job, with my circumstances, with my emotional state, with my finances, and just with relationships in general. And I kind of went into survival mode. And for me, survival mode was get out of bed, show up for work, and don't screw up. And everything else went on the back burner. I stopped answering my phone. I stopped hanging out with my friends. I stopped going to family functions, and hobbies and interests, they were no longer on the radar. And that really kind of describes about a decade of my life. My dogs just started barking. It scared me to death. Oh my gosh. So anyway, about 4.5 years ago, some college friends of mine started posting on Facebook about Plexus, and my knee-jerk reaction was, I'm not selling that stuff. And it's funny, when I look back at that now, I jumped over, what is it? Should I try it? And I went straight to, I'm not selling that stuff. Obviously, God had other plans, but it took me about a year to get warmed up to the idea of even wanting to try it. And the thing that was kind of the flip the switch in my brain was I read a post about the Plexus Slim and how it helps regulate blood sugar, and that it's made up of natural plant-based ingredients. And so I was pleasantly surprised about the ingredient part, but it was the blood sugar part that intrigued me. I've struggled with low blood sugar my entire adult life, from uncontrollable rage to passing out at work and scaring my coworkers. And so I thought, I'll give it a shot. And so, I remember the day I tried Plexus Slim. I remember where I was, what I was wearing, where I was going, what the weather was like, because it was that significant for me. I could tell within just minutes after my first pink drink, I felt better. And I still, to this day, I struggle finding the right words to describe how much better I felt. And so they had a customer for life after my very first pink drink. So here I am about 2.5 months in, and my ambassador sends me an email, kind of a customer service, how's it going? And she didn't ask me to join her team. What she said is, people are going to start noticing how you look and how you feel, and they're going to start asking questions. And when they do, please send them my way. I would love to share these products with your friends and family. And so in those last couple of sentences, she took me from, I'm not selling that stuff, to, well, if they're going to be asking, well, why can't I sell it to them, right? So 15 days later, as soon as I got paid, I signed up as an ambassador, and I've never looked back. It's been probably one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. And I've been an ambassador for about 3.5 years now. And in those 3.5 years, I have lost 32 pounds. I've never felt better. I've never slept better. I've learned a lot about gut health and its relationship to the blues. And I'm lucky enough to work with a psychiatrist who also believes that there is a connection between gut health and the blues. And under his strict supervision, I've been able to slowly step down off of those medications that I thought that I was going to have to take the rest of my life. And I've been prescription free for 2 years. And of all the things that Plexus has done or brought into my life, that is probably the most significant and the most unexpected blessing of them all. I got to trade in my 15-year-old Honda Accord for a brand new Lexus. And girl, I'm telling you, I needed that car. I needed it bad. I got to resign from my corporate position of 13 years. I've earned 2 trips to Hawaii, and I've got to enjoy those trips with my sisters. I have a sister who's a Diamond ambassador, and I have another sister who is a Ruby. And I took the Ruby as my guest this year. And so the 3 of us got to enjoy it together. It was so much fun. And then that's one of my favorite things about this business, is that I get to do this with my sisters and my best friend, and the cherry on top of it all, the frosting on the cupcake, is all the people that I have met and become good friends with along the way because of Plexus. Like Kendall, our paths would have never crossed in our entire lives had it not been for this business. And it's so good to be surrounded by good, solid, salt of the earth people that cheer each other on and lift each other up. And I tell you, when God puts a gift like that in your lap, a gift that changes your health, improves your financial situation, you want to spend the rest of your life sharing it with the people that you love. And that's what I intend to do. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So I'm going to switch gears and talk a little bit about business tips. And earlier this week, I was sitting down and I was trying to come up with some talking points about what I wanted to visit with you guys tonight on the Zoom call. And I got to thinking about our business. And when I thought about it, the business, the way that it's set up and what we're required to do, it's pretty simple. It's not easy, but it's pretty simple. And what I mean by that is, when you boil it down to brass tacks, it comes down to marketing our products, giving great customer service, building a network, inviting people to join us, and then training and supporting those who choose to do so. It's simple, but it's not easy. It doesn't require a PhD or an MBA. Anybody can develop the skills necessary to do this business. The hard part about this business is the emotional aspect. And I know you guys know what I'm talking about, that emotional roller coaster. When I look at the folks who are where I want to be, those top of the charts, those guys, it's clear to me when I'm speaking to them that these folks have learned how to manage that emotional aspect. They manage what's going on between their ears. And I've seen this over and over again in my business. You have two people. They're both facing the same obstacle, and one views it as a roadblock, and the other one views it as an opportunity. One will make every effort to learn and develop and figure it out and overcome it, and the other one throws their hands in the air and surrenders in defeat. Same obstacle, but you have two different points of view. And what I'm trying to illustrate here is that we all have a choice in how we view that obstacle. We have a choice in what we are going to do about it. How you frame that obstacle in your mind will have a direct impact on the success or failure of what you're trying to accomplish. So when I'm disappointed or discouraged, I don't beat myself up for feeling those emotions. We're emotional beings. It's part of who we are. I use it more as a cue that I need to pay attention, that I need to take a second look. And so yeah, if I allow myself to experience that emotion, but I don't give myself permission to live there. I'm not going to pitch a tent, build a campfire, and live in discouragement. If I'm disappointed about something today, and 8 days from now, I'm still disappointed about that same thing, I'm not managing that emotion. That emotion is managing me. And that's where I've got to really take a step back and reframe that obstacle and view it as an opportunity. So I asked myself a couple of questions. What is my next best step? I'm not going to let this defeat me. So what am I going to do? What can I do? How can I overcome this obstacle? What do I need to learn from this? Where do I need to self-correct so that I can avoid this in the future? And when I start to answer these questions, my brain kind of goes into forward momentum, and then I'm brainstorming and I'm coming up with an action plan, and then I don't have time to be disappointed or discouraged because I'm moving forward again. So a person who doesn't have belief, a person who hasn't identified their why, a person without commitment is not going to move forward. And a couple of years ago, I went to a diamond panel, and the moderator asked Melissa Eichenhorst a question, and she got up, and in 3 minutes, she described perfectly that emotional roller coaster that is this business, the peaks and the valleys, the ups and the downs, the victories and the defeats. For 3 minutes, perfect. And at the end of those 3 minutes, what she landed on was belief, commitment, and action. And I think that those three things are the beginnings of a really strong foundation for building your business. You hear folks all the time talking about belief, commitment, and action at convention, at leaders retreat. You see tons of YouTube videos. There are probably countless Facebook posts dedicated to the subject of belief, commitment, and action. And there's a reason why you hear it over and over and over again, because it's those things, those three things that are going to carry you through the tough times. So I just want to touch on those three things just really quickly. The first thing is belief. We have to take ownership in building our own belief. I can only operate on borrowed belief for a very short period of time before I crash and burn. And building belief requires you to really dig in and educate yourself. You've got to have belief in our products, in our comp plan, in our company, in our executives, in our industry. So how do you do that? You watch diamond documentaries. There's tons of videos on our products, on the comp plan. You can read testimonies and learn about what these products are doing for people. Study the ingredients. which I would rather poke my eye out really than study ingredients. But it's necessary. It's a skill. It's something that we need to know and learn, right? But honestly, that's where I fall short for sure. Keep updated on company communications. Read books on our industry, and even in back office, that success on demand. There is just tons and tons of resources back there that can help you build belief. So the more that you know, the bigger your belief. And the bigger your belief, the more confident you are when you begin sharing with people. So let's talk about commitment. Belief without commitment will kill your business. It just will. And what I mean by that is somebody can believe in our products, but not have a commitment to take them every single day. Somebody can have belief in this amazing business opportunity, but not have the commitment to do the things that they need to do every single day to build, to be successful. So where belief requires us to study and to educate ourselves, commitment requires a decision right up here. Our top earners come from all different walks of life. We have homeschoolers with 10 kids. We've got single moms coming from corporate America. We've got college students. We have lots of different lifestyles represented in the jewel pool. But what all have in common is a strong belief system and a razor-sharp commitment. You hear people say all the time, draw a line in the sand. And that's exactly what they've done. That failure is not an option. They are in 100%. They don't entertain the thought of quitting. And that's razor-sharp commitment. And you know what? Commitment shows up in your life through action. So we've talked about belief. We've talked about commitment. So the last thing I want to discuss is action. So it's a hard one, huh? You've probably heard the saying that action is the cure to what ails your business. So if you look at your business and you don't like what you see, the first thing that you have to look at after that is your own actions. So action is taking steps every single day to move you in the direction of your goals. Income producing activity, 531, IPA, whatever you want to call it. It's daily, consistent action. Doing it when you don't feel like doing it. And what is it? What is it that we're talking about? What is the work that we need to do every single day? Well, it goes back to those simple 5 things at the beginning: marketing our products, giving great customer service, building our network, inviting people to join us, and supporting and training those that choose to do so. We've got to develop skills and practice every single day. Nobody was born good at marketing products. Nobody was born good at customer service or networking. But in order to be good at these things, we have to practice. We have to have belief. We have to be committed, and we have to take action. So those are my notes. I thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of your Zoom call tonight. I'm going to give the floor back to you.
You are awesome. Oh my gosh. And I love that thing behind you. Are you standing up?
I am. I'm standing up. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody stand up doing one of these. I think it's the cutest thing ever, but like you're free to move. And
yeah, I feel like my brain works better if I'm standing up on my feet.
Well, thank you. I mean, that I know we're all in different walks in this and everything, but I mean that the message is the same no matter where you are in this. And it does go back to those just core things, and we all struggle with it. And I did want to ask you one question. So I try to just ask something. I'm going to put you on the spot, but no, it's not hard.
Sure.
So what's the biggest way you feel like you've grown in all of this and doing this whole journey from the day you signed up to where you're at now? Like, what do you feel like it's done for you?
Well, I consider myself an introvert, and I am pretty shy, and to start conversation or to, develop relationships. Introverts like to have their 3 friends and their small group time. And it's hard for them to go to big functions or big things and be around crowds. And this really has forced me to really practice interacting with people even when I'm uncomfortable, meeting people, making contacts, making new friends. And because I know that my comfortable place is not good for my business. It's being uncomfortable. That's when we grow and learn. And so I think probably that's my biggest growth area, is that I've had to force myself to be a little more chatty and be open to more friends and that kind of thing.
Well, that's something a lot of people struggle with. I mean, that's probably the top things that I hear from people, that it's uncomfortable for them to reach out to people and uncomfortable for them to feel like they're selling. And that's why we always tell people, like, if you don't want to be salesy, you're not going to be salesy, like you can still do things within your comfort zone that push you out of it. And so, but thank you so much, girl. I mean, I feel like what you said is exactly what I know I needed to hear tonight. And I'm sure everybody else, the second we get off of this, is going to be blowing up my thing. Like, oh my gosh, Kendall, she was amazing. So
thank you are so much for having me. Yes. Thanks for letting me bust up your Zoom call tonight.
Sounds good. Thank you.